before, but it slipped my mind.
Well, the thoughts are there every night. I mean, they're there every night.
Okay. And is that scene a part of your nightmares from time to time?
Yes.
Okay. How often do you have the nightmares?
Every night.
Do you have one last night?
No.
Night before?
Yes. No, I haven't had any in the last 2 nights. I have to think now for a minute.
Well, okay. Now this is important to recognize, though. If you haven't had a nightmare for the last 2 nights and you're used to having them every night, it was 2 nights ago you started doing the tapping, or 2 days ago. Okay. This scene that we were just doing, we've gotten to the intense part now?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to close your eyes, if you would, and I'd like you to mentally go through that entire scene, stopping at each one of the points where you had some emotional intensity. And I want you to literally try to get yourself intensive. I want you to imagine these things in the most vivid terms that you can. I want you to make an effort to get intense on each of those points and tell me where you get.
Zero.
On all of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Chances are you're going to be 0 or close to it. I mean, chances are we've taken one more intrusive thought and put it in the bag. You will be interested to learn that I spoke with Rich 2 months after this session, and his height phobia still had not returned, his intrusive thoughts were all zeros, and his sleep at night expanded from an average of 4 hours per night to about 7. This is typical of these procedures, and the normal expectation is that the problems will not return. Adrian helps our next veteran, Ralph, get beyond a traumatic memory in a matter of minutes. He also has a past problem with cocaine, but has been drug-free for almost a year. After Adrian completes her part, I teach him how to neutralize all addictive cravings by using his desire for a cigarette.
You mentioned to me that you went over a cliff in a Jeep,
in a Jeep.
Was it?
Yeah.
If you bring that up into your mind, Ralph, can you get intense reliving that?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about that. Tell me a little bit about the story, and then I'm going to stop you. I don't want to cause you any pain because this process is really pain-free. But I want to have you get into it so that we can again measure the success of it. So tell me about what happened.
We were on maneuvers, and the maneuvers were ending, and we had to rendezvous on the beach to board a ship to go back to Okinawa. The field mechanics had tried to fix the brakes on this Jeep. I was in a 106 recoilless rifle platoon, and they had a 106 recoilless rifle mounted on top of the Jeep. I told the lieutenant that the brakes hadn't been fixed and we had no brakes on the vehicle. He told me that we had to get to the beach anyway. I said, sir, you going to give me an order to drive this Jeep? He said, yes, that's an order. So he and I got in there. He was riding the passenger seat. He had a gunner on the back. Going down a dirt road, had about a 90-degree left turn. As I went into the turn with that 106 rifle on top of the Jeep was top heavy and it began to slide.
Stop right there. On an intensity of a 0 to 10, how intense does that make you? How anxious?
About 7.
A 7. Okay, I'd like to work on that. So what we're working on now is you first realizing that something was going wrong.
Yeah.
Am I correct? I'd like you to rub that sore spot. Can you find that?
Right in here.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
All right, rub that, and while you're rubbing that, say, I accept myself even though I have this anxiety.
I accept myself even though I have this anxiety.
Baby finger, collarbone. Okay, let's stop. Has that anxiety, think about, you're just realizing that something's wrong, and you can feel it going top heavy. What's the anxiety? If it was a 7 before, what is it now?
It's reduced.
Down to?
I can talk about this without anxiety.
Without any anxiety?
It's reduced very much.
Is it to a 0?
Not quite to a 0.
All right, I'm going to do some more work on it. Have your eyes open, and baby finger, and collarbone. Okay. Is there anything there now? That's good. Any anxiety? No, you're laughing about it. No, is there?
This is amazing.
Okay, do you tell me?
Excuse me.
You okay?
I get a calming effect that runs through my body when I do this.
Do you?
Yeah.
Good, good. So you get
Yeah.
a calming effect in the rest of your body. All right, let's go back to the, tell me again, you're realizing, let's pick the story up from there.
Well, the Jeep started sliding to the side of the road, and as it went to the side of the road, it hit a tree, bounced off the tree, and over into the air, over this cliff.
Let's stop there. Does that do, is there
It doesn't
any?
do anything.
Okay, go ahead.
This is really cool. Usually I talk about this, I tighten up in my stomach.
And you're not feeling any of
No,
that
I'm
now?
not. I'm
Good,
not.
wonderful.
Anyway, we went flying through the air, and the Jeep landed about the distance that we're sitting right now from landing on top of me. But I was buried in dirt.
Well, think about that. Does that do anything to you?
It doesn't do anything.
All right, go ahead.
This whole experience doesn't do anything now.
Is this the first time you've been able to talk about it then and not have that happen?
Without getting kind of uptight about it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I have a problem with my left shoulder. Sometimes I talk about it, the shoulder acts up, but I'm not feeling anything here.
Great.
At any rate, this captain ran up to me and stuck his hand in my mouth and pulled the dirt out. Let's stop me from strangling to death. And then I was meted back to the hospital. But
And that's,
they thought the back was broken, and they gave me morphine right away for the pain. And I remember I was very afraid about my back being broken, but it wasn't.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you got through that story,
Yeah.
and we talked about the feeling, the Jeep, you realized it was going to go out of control, started sliding on you, you go over, and the Jeep narrowly hits you,
Yeah.
lands just a few, sounds like a foot from you or something.
About a foot, yeah.
Yeah, and you're still okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
wonderful that you're able to get through
Yeah.
this. Chances are, if that's caused you any anxiety, that won't come up again. Chances are that issue is not going to come up again. And indeed, in retelling the story for someone, if you chose to do that, chances are we've gotten it. But you'll be the best
Yeah.
test for that.
Well, I normally don't tell this story because it's not a big experience, but for me it's a big experience.
Sure.
Because it makes me feel very uptight, and I distinctly get pain in my left shoulder when I start talking about this story. I don't feel anything over here right now.
Good.
Ralph then left with instructions to come back and see us when he was climbing the wall for a cigarette. We wanted his craving to be very high so we could demonstrate the power of these techniques when applied to addictive cravings. Now you want a cigarette, is that what I understand? You've been out for a while and you're going to come back.
I do.
And Ralph wants a cigarette. On a scale of 0 to 10, Ralph, right now, what is your...
8.5 or 9.
8.5. You already before answered the question. I answered the question. You got it, huh? Put this thing under your nose a minute, okay? And just see if that's still an 8.5 or a 9.
Yeah.
Take a dry drag on it and tell me if it's still an 8.5 or 9, if it's getting any higher or lower or what.
It's not getting any lower.
Okay. Is it getting any higher?
No.
Okay, still an 8.5 or 9.
Yeah.
8.5 or 9. Okay, I'm going to hold it right here because see the point is here we want you to keep your thoughts on that cigarette about how good that would really be. To have that cigarette.
Okay.
That's not going to be hard to do, huh?
No, not at
Okay, I
all.
want you to rub that sore spot for me. Okay. And say, I accept myself even though I crave that cigarette.
I accept myself even though I crave a cigarette.
Again.
I accept myself even though I crave a cigarette.
Again.
I accept myself even though I crave a cigarette.
Okay, now tap on your collarbone and take a look at that cigarette while you're doing that, okay? Now tap under your eye. Tap on your collarbone. Okay, under your arm. Okay, on your collarbone. Think of how good that cigarette would be. Under your eye. Okay, now stop there a second. Let's just take a little reading here. Are you still at 8.5 or a 9?
No.
What would you call it? What would you call your desire level right now?
About 5.
Okay, tap the gamut spot on the back of your hand. Okay, a little more rapidly. There you go. Okay. Now look at this cigarette. Okay. Now close your eyes and open your eyes. And hard down right. And hard down left. And roll them in a circle. Like that. Keep tapping though. Keep tapping. Okay. Other direction. Okay, happy birthday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Happy birthday. Okay, now tap on your collarbone. Tie that cigarette, okay? Under your eye. On the collarbone. Under your arm. Okay, on the collarbone. And under your eye. Now, what was your number of 5? You went from 8 or 8.5 or 9 to a 5?
Yeah.
Is there still a 5?
No, it's getting less.
What would you say?
It's not reduced. It's not gone, no.
Not gone? Okay, but what would be your best number?
3, 2.
3 or 2?
It's much less.
Okay, rub the sore spot and say this: I accept myself, even though I still crave that cigarette.
Even though I still crave the cigarette.
I accept myself, even though I still have some of this craving left.
I accept myself, even though I still have some craving left.
I accept myself, even though I still have some craving left.
I accept myself, even though I still have some craving left.
Okay, on your collarbone. Okay, under your eye. On your collarbone. Under your arm. On your collarbone. And under your eye. Okay, are you still at 2 or 3?
No, not really.
Well, on a scale of 0 to 10, how desirous are you right now of having a cigarette?
I could do without it.
Okay. Does that mean
I still have a little urge for a cigarette, but nothing like when I came in here.
Okay, I understand that, but is it, and I know you can't give an exact number, but is it like a 1 or a 2 or a 0? What would you call it?
Like a 1.
About a 1.
Like a 1.
About a 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Here. Here, just hold that there. You just hold that there, okay? Because you know that's a good cigarette. Right? Put it on your nose for a minute. Put it on your nose for a minute. Tell me if that makes it more than a 1.
No.
Take a dry drag and tell me if that makes it more than a 1.
No.
Still a 1, okay. All right, look at me. Close your eyes. Open your eyes. Hard down right. Hard down left. Roll them in a circle. Here, just do it this way. Okay. Other direction. Okay. Happy birthday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Happy birthday. Okay, tap on the collarbone. Under your eye. Collarbone. Under your arm. Collarbone. Under your eye. Okay, now take a look at that cigarette. Tell me.
I like this.
You like this?
Yeah.
Well, do you want it or not?
No. I don't have a craving for a cigarette now.
You don't have a craving for
No, I don't
cigarette?
have a craving for a cigarette.
Now see, here's the beauty of this, and I want to thank you for doing this on camera, okay? This is the beauty for anybody who wants to quit smoking.
Yeah.
You now have a choice. Whenever
Yeah.
you get the craving, once you memorize this process, you can do that, and you now know you can take that
Yeah.
craving in a few moments and get it to the point where you can walk around, walk by it.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean the craving won't come back.
I understand that, but I do have a choice right now. That's right.
You have a choice, and you'll have a choice the next time you have a craving,
Yeah.
and the next time, and the next time, and after a while, as you know, when you quit smoking, pretty soon the cravings don't come back because you get over the hump and off you go.
All right.
Okay? In the meantime, by doing this, you're also, and this is really important in this, is what you're doing is you're taking the anxiety that is really driving the reason you need to smoke the cigarette. You're reducing the anxiety way down. I mean, without the anxiety, you don't have the need for the cigarette.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel now on an anxiety level?
I'm very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. It's
When you
okay.
walked in here, how were you on an anxiety level?
I was anticipating a cigarette.
Yeah, which means on a scale of 0 to 10 for anxiety, what might you have been?
About the same as the craving, about a 9.
About a 9, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So what's the craving now?
I don't have a craving now.
Okay, but now what I want you to try to do, I want you to try to get your craving up. So let's take that, I want you to imagine that thing lit, okay? Imagine that thing lit, and I want you to put it in your mouth. And I want you to take a dry drag and inhale, you know, like you're going to inhale that, okay? Okay, and put it under your nose and smell it. Okay, try to get your desire up.
I'm not going to be able to.
You're not going to be able to?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No.
Okay, now, but I do want to emphasize something. That does not mean you're over your cigarette
I
addiction.
understand that.
Okay.
But it gives me a choice right now.
It gives
That's
you a choice
important.
right now, and every time you have a craving, it gives you a choice right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
It's up
very
to you.
important to me.
It's up to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
You like that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, you normally smoke, right?
After we do a group, we normally go outside all of us together and smoke.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So I went outside when I left here, figuring that would give me the craving, because I figured I could come right back in 5 minutes with a craving. But I didn't. I never got the craving to smoke. So I went to the 2 o'clock group. That's from 2 to 3.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the end of that group, toward the end of that group, I started feeling the desire for a cigarette.
Okay. All right. All right. The other thing I want to point out to you is that this is good not only for cigarettes, it's good for addictions of any kind. It's good for biting fingernails, it's good for cocaine, it's good for people who have gambling addictions, it's good for any kind of an addictive behavior, be it substance-oriented or not. The same thing will work across the board. Next, you will hear an interview with Anthony, who has been through many years of conventional therapy since his Vietnam encounters. Listen as he tells you about his experience with these techniques. And you are an outpatient here, meaning you've spent your time here before as a full-time resident in-house, if you will.
Yes.
And you're now in the community, and you come back from time to time.
I come back on a regular basis.
On a regular basis, okay. And so you came back and you heard us give a presentation 3 or 4 days ago about the Callahan techniques and tapping and that kind of thing.
Right.
And since then, we've had some experiences. You came in and visited with us once. I don't want to put all the words in your mouth. Why don't you tell us in your words, or tell me, what happened? What was your first experience? And we'll start with that.
My first experience with the tapping, we tried out my fear of crowds and going into crowded places. And I have this thing about ultra awareness of harm. It's a fearful nature that I have.
Triggered by the Vietnam experiences.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Kind of keeps me isolated and away from crowds, especially restaurants.
Sort of like you're looking over your shoulder all the time.
Yes, I got to see what's going on.
Yeah. Okay. So when you go in a restaurant, if you were to go, you would sit with your back to the wall so you could see
Absolutely.
everything. Okay.
See that, put my back to the wall, see the exits to who's coming in and who's leaving, and to look around to find out if there's any potential danger within the crowd. And well, we started the technique, you remember?
Right, sure.
And this was the exciting part of it because I was skeptical. I had heard about this a long time ago, and I was interested, but not until now that I get the opportunity to try this out. And I wanted to do it, and I was totally amazed. In fact, I'm really elated because, well, we went to the restaurant.
Indeed, we did.
And
that was yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Yes. Yeah. And I was quite, well, I didn't want to go in, you know, and we had tried the tapping method, and I felt comfortable, and then different thoughts would come up, and there was one especially that happened that came up because of the death of my brother. My brother, he passed away in December of '92, and it's been an extremely sensitive issue. I can even talk about this freely. This is how wonderful this is.
You couldn't do this before?
No. I mean, not without getting choked up to a point.
On a scale of 0 to 10, how emotionally intense would you get before doing this tapping when speaking about your brother's death?
Well, before I came in the program, it was always a 10. While I came into the program, and after I started working on the issues, it would relatively remain about a 6, 7, sometimes get to a 10. And while we were at the restaurant, going into the restaurant, we were doing the tapping technique, so this way I could just get in the front door. The issue with my brother started to come up again. It was like it switched from the restaurant to my other sensitivity.
Right, sure.
And we worked on that. And now I can remember many of the scenes, but I don't feel the pain no more. I mean, even as I speak of it now, you know, I feel like there's something missing, you know, that grieving, that ultra heaviness I had. Well, I don't really miss that. In fact, I'm happy that I don't have it.
Yeah, sure.
I feel wonderful.
It's interesting because you can
I really feel wonderful.
you can separate the emotional sting, if you will, from the memory itself. You can have all the memories you want of your brother and the death, and all the good bad memories and bad memories, but the emotional sting, the negative emotional sting, can be separate from the whole thing. That's the experience, I think.
It's exactly, you know, yes, it is exactly the way it is. You know, it was a terrible experience for me. You know, and as I think about a lot of the other, I've been working on myself also with the tapping, because I have a very big issue with loss of friends, especially the friends I had in Vietnam. A lot of them were, you know, were so dear to me, close to me. You know, it was, whenever I used to think, I would never even talk about this unless I was under some kind of therapeutic guidance. And now, I'm amazed. I can't believe it. I can't believe it, you know. And I've been telling some of my other Vietnam buddies, you know, and they don't believe it, you know. And they says, well, it must have been all that therapy you had. I says, partially so, but you know, that even though I did have all this therapy, and there was still residual. I don't feel the shock no more. I don't feel like the sword through my heart, the pain associated with it.
How many years of therapy have you been in through working with these issues?
Since 1978.
And is this the first time you felt this free?
Yes. I mean, absolutely so. 100% so. You know, I think it was my time to meet you guys. I think it was.
Wonderful.
God's blessed me, I swear to God.
Okay.
You know?
I want to take you back to the restaurant. We were outside the door. I remember this very clearly. This was last night. We were outside the door, and up until that point you said, I'm fine. You were very comfortable. And then I opened the door, and I said, now let's go in. And you went, and in fact, your words were, no, I'm frozen here. Remember saying that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
It was like,
and then we did some tapping, and then that kind of went away. And then we went right in the restaurant, and I don't think you had a nickel's worth of anxiety from that point forward. Maybe you did. Why don't you describe it, whatever you had?
no, you're